Hello, welcome to... yes, how can I help? There was no time to explain, but basically it's not a very nice day today. And it was raining. I'm worried about Alex's camera, so we've got on the bus. We're on the bus. There are some worrying people, some school kids.
Oh, I hear phone noise.
Yeah, there's unnerving. The conditions are unnerving. So come up here and we'll take a view.
Albany Road. What did you say?
The conditions are, as I say, are unnerving. What do you think?
If you go there and I go here,
Okay.
I think we can make this work.
So, welcome, as I say, to the 15th instalment of...
68.
Yes? How can I help?
Euston.
We're on the number 68 bus to Euston, which is quite far. If you're new to this series, it's not normally on a bus. In fact, this is the first one ever to take place on public transportation. We normally shout out public transport. This time we've gone a step further. I'm obviously keeping my voice down a little bit because not that many people make content on buses, and I don't know if public levels of understanding and tolerance are where they ought to be.
They might not all be fans.
No, we assume that most people are fans, yes, but we've seen the occasional person go past on a bike that wasn't a fan. Firstly, just thank you for a few pieces of feedback from the previous episodes. Thank you to the person who has recently had appendicitis and is in the United States and said that this cheered them up. Various people weighed in on the pasta versus pasta controversy. I would say, actually, regardless of whether it's a borrowing from Italian, which it is of course, usage in the end dictates that the word becomes its own thing. In the end, the word becomes what we say it is. The word Schadenfreude, for example, is a German word, but we've made it into an English borrowing. So what I'm saying is there's no wrong way of saying pasta. Thank you also to the person who said that my idea for a pasta dish, which was bechamel, cheese and meat, sounded like exactly like lasagna. Actually, it was lasagna, and that was me having my little joke. There are no designated subjects this week. All of the questions are what we call overflow. They're questions, if you like, that are still sloshing about this week. Alex is going to start a 10-minute timer. How ready would you say you are, Alex, to do that?
No comment. I'm ready to go.
Okay, and we're going to start with this.
68.
Euston. What's the most obnoxious fact to tell people? Is it that a tomato is a fruit? Not just that a tomato is a fruit, but also that a cucumber is a fruit. And the more you look into these things, it turns out like pepper is actually a shoe, and there's some stupid ones like a banana is a seed, and like a clock is a melon, and so on. Basically, anything like that where. Like I'm sure fine, a tomato is a fruit and celery is a fruit, whatever, but come off it. Obviously things that you have as veg are veg, and things that are fruit are fruit. Also, the thing about Big Ben being the name of the bell rather than the clock is actually a lot of facts that people know are obnoxious. Just keep it quiet. The reason I'm sharing all this knowledge is because in order to make this show I have learned all of the knowledge that we have in the world.
East Street.
And this of course is a free service. Do you like me? Yes, I think you're very nice. It's quite difficult to read them in these conditions. How many hot dogs is too many? Well, I think if you're having more than 100 hot dogs a week, then that probably is too many. I once went to a hot dog eating competition in Canada. Yeah, when I was a kid. I didn't enter it, I just watched it. It wasn't very nice. Should people who have never made their own mayo be allowed to express their opinion on it? I'm gonna say yes. One doesn't have to have made mayo in order to have opinions on it. And that is the case with most things. For example, I've never created a horse, but I'm still allowed to have opinions on horses. Are swords still relevant or nah?
Euston.
Put it this way: if I ran Alex through with a sword right here on the 68 Euston, I think we'd all agree. I think all the passengers would agree. Swords remain more than relevant. Now, you might not see somebody walking along with a sword quite as much as you used to, but I don't think they'll ever become entirely irrelevant. Or again, if you were, say, in the shower and someone poked their head around the curtain, big if perhaps, with a sword, I don't think your first response would be, "Ha, what an irrelevant weapon." Oh, the other night I dreamt that someone was standing over my bed and they were about to shoot me in the face, and I just couldn't believe it. I didn't even know them. I said in the dream, "Seriously?" And I woke up. Phew. What is the best card game, and why won't my wife play it? Although not a sort of traditional old school card game, Uno is great fun for the whole family, but your wife won't play it because she's a bit of a killjoy. No, it's because she enjoys reading and other activities, or she just wishes that you'd have and your mates would have a proper conversation. She thinks that you play card games to try and break up the tension of social situations. She'd much rather discuss some of the stuff that's going on with you. After my national shaming by you in episode 13, like 2 ago, over Wordle strategy,
Phil, is it?
it's Phil, and I ridiculed Phil for always picking the same Wordle starter word, his wife much more adventurous. He says my shaming was well deserved. What would be the best heckle I could throw at you at your Taunton gig on the 25th of October? The best heckle you could do would be to find out what the Wordle answer is for the next day by looking on Australian or New Zealand Twitter and then yelling it out at me, ruining my experience of Wordle the following day. If you do that, I'll respect it. I won't understand what you mean at first, but if anyone yells out a 5-letter word during that Taunton gig, I'll be impressed and also disappointed, because I don't think I've ever had a spoiler in all of my now nearly 1,000 streak Wordle. Another Mayo question. Why is the UK so obsessed with mayonnaise? Also, why is the UK so obsessed with sandwiches? Why is a pharmacy named after shoes selling sandwiches? Why? Thanks, and there are any number of question marks. Sandwiches are nice, mayo is nice, a sandwich is just a great idea for food. Oh, I've got some bread. Oh, that's it, I suppose. No, there's also a filling. And that's the bottom, is it? No, there's more bread under that. It's perfect. Full of surprises. I'll flip the question on its head. Why are you not obsessed with sandwiches? Why is everybody not eating a sandwich as they watch this? If you're watching this and you don't have a sandwich, please pause it. What time are we on, Alex?
5:26.
There you go, so almost exactly halfway through. Perfect. Pause it now, make a sandwich, come back, and in the comments I would like people to, I guess you can't give proof, but I'd like to hear what everybody's sandwich was while they were watching this. And even if you are just posting a question in the comments, I would like you to preface it with what your sandwich was. Thank you. Are trees just really, really big grass, or nah? No, trees are a different thing. A tree isn't just a bit of grass that was like, if I'm doing this, I might as well go huge. How can Darby improve its image? Massive statue of a bum outside the train station.
Say a bum?
A bum like a bottom.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Or tits or something. Sexy statue outside the station. I'm the ideas man. I have a budget for it, but I'd say
Euston.
spend about £100,000 on a great big Darby bum.
They can call it the Darby bum.
They should call it the Darby bum. I like some of my design ideas. I think I'm quite a good civic planner. How do I get back to being fit, stroke hot? Particularly with my neighbour, they also had a chubby period, without them noticing my going in and out for walks and runs for this purpose. Firstly, see exercise as something you do for your health and to feel good and for the privilege of movement, rather than just, don't assume that if you get thinner and lose weight you'll be fitter, hotter, because lots of people who are bigger are more attractive. But also, don't be worried about what your neighbour or anyone thinks about you going out for a walk or a run. You already are attractive, I expect. I don't know. I'm sure you're fine.
Also, you can really make use of your living room. Just do circles. Just keep going.
Yeah, you don't.
Imagine the amount of rotations.
True. Yeah. Basically, don't worry about it. You're already nice. You don't need to lose weight, but you can. But if no one will judge you for going for runs for that purpose. We normally only see the top half of trees. but the bottom half has a very similar structure. Does this mean trees growing in New Zealand are actually the roots of trees growing in the UK and vice versa? That's right, yes. And not everyone knows this, but if you were to dig a hole through the centre of the earth to get to New Zealand, it would only take 20 minutes or so. The reason no one does it is because it's illegal, because aviation companies have put huge pressure on governments to make it illegal, because everyone would just tunnel through rather than getting on planes if they could. Recently they said on TV that the Cheops pyramid has 4 sides, but does it really? Wouldn't the part facing the ground make it 5 sides in total? I appreciate your assistance in this matter. That's very nice, and I'd like more people to say I appreciate your assistance in this matter. Following questions. No, the Cheops pyramid does just have 4 sides. A little man holds it up off the ground. It's obviously not been the same man for all these thousands of years. They're doing it on a rota. Every Egyptian citizen serves 3 weeks holding up the pyramid. Should you call Twitter X or Nah? Nah. X is a ludicrous attempt to rebrand it because Elon Musk doesn't know, he's just got a sort of a melon instead of a brain. I've mentioned melons twice now. You wonder if there'll be a hat trick. Thank you to the people who said interference, by the way. A series of recent near misses seem to leave you increasingly exasperated during your walks. How long until you bludgeon a pedestrian? Alex and I wish to distance ourselves from any suggestions that we would deliberately injure a member of the public or each other. Why is it called squash? Don't know if you mean the sport or the juice drink. The sport is called that because the balls are squashable, and before, one time they played it with rocks. How long to go?
1 minute 38.
1 minute 38. All right, still got a little bit of time.
Also, not sure where we are.
Not sure
Where we are.
Oh well, we're just passing Elephant and Castle, I think. So it's still within our grasp to get home again. How old do you have to be to die of old age? At what point can it be said the cause of death was old age? Not the cause of death is a mystery. The age is 68. Anytime after 68, they won't say the death is a mystery or it's not seen as suspicious. They'll just say they died of old age. And if you get beyond 88, official news bulletins and press and things say the old bastard at the end. So just worth knowing that. With American series, TV series invariably going on for too long and becoming a bit shit, can we expect a dip in quality in episode 20? Do you have any plans for keeping the show fresh? We're a freshness machine. Look at this. We've thrown a bus in. We'll do it on a plane. We'll do it in a hot air balloon. Don't you worry about this.
Oh, I'd love that.
I think I'd be quite nervous. It'd be interesting though. Anyway, if you think that this is going to dip after episode 20, you've got an awful lot of thinking to do.
20 seconds, speaking of.
This will go for 200 episodes easily, and it will never get tired. After all this time, should Technotronic deflate the jam? No, the jam should remain pumped up until we are certain that it is safe to deflate it. Last one. Would pizzas be upset that we don't bother to make boxes for their shape? Or do they really not mind? I don't think they'd mind, but if you think about it, a lot of the things that we keep people in aren't people-shaped. This bus, for example, is a different shape from a person. A house is basically a pizza box for a human, but it isn't the exact shape of a human, not even a very big human. You don't see a house that's shaped like this. So I think pizzas are just fine being delivered in square or occasionally rectangular boxes, because you sometimes get those funny pieces. Well, thank you for joining us on, if anything, slightly too far down the road to Euston on the number 68 bus. This has been an innovative episode of Yes, How Can I Help? I hope you've enjoyed it. We would love your content interactions as always. Please put your questions in the comments. As all, this week preferential treatment will be given to people who say, I appreciate your assistance in this matter. There are still a few sloshing about which we weren't able to get to, so you still can expect more questions to be tackled in the next one. Branch is scraping on the top of the bus there. The weather is really closing in. Alex and I are far from where we want to be. That's what we do for Yes, How Can I Help?